It's better late than never. Have you ever said that? I've said that. And it's true. But what happens when late becomes never? So, what am I talking about? There was somebody that I worked with for years, starting in 2013. Thanks, Mumu. That's Mumu. There was somebody that I worked with in 2014. This person was a very experienced counselor, therapist, had worked with, some high profile people, but just thousands of people with addictions, mental disorders, body dysmorphia, relationship issues. He's a very spiritual person, somebody that had gone through a lot of adversity in their life. Their wife passed away, and then due to health complications, this person actually lost their leg due to diabetes. And still, man, this guy would show up every week, whether on crutches or eventually then a wheelchair. He always showed up. He was always ready to go. I didn't see excuses. I didn't see, any poor me type of stuff from this person. Extremely wise, had a wealth of information. And so I would talk to this person, and I would learn from them. They were kind of like this workplace mentor that popped in once a week. Now, this person could also be quite long-winded when I had a shit ton of work to do. And there were times that I was like, come on, man. I don't have time to, deconstruct my life with you right now. But, I'm an asshole. What can I tell you? I had stuff to do. But I always took the time to talk to this person. Now, I left that place of work and I branched out on a new career and, whatever. And we reconnected during the pandemic because I was thinking about him a lot. I was listening to a lot of podcasts and I was thinking, man, people would listen to this guy. If he would, he had this deep, voice, this deep, wise voice, and he just had so much information that I called him up and I said, hey, man, you ever thought about doing a podcast? You should do that. You should just hook up a phone or whatever and a mic and just blather on like you do for hours. People would listen to you. People know you. And I think you'd have kind of an immediate built-in follower base from your career and all the people you've helped along the years. So that led to one conversation, which led to a lunch, which led to another lunch, which led to a phone conversation that we tried to record because he wanted to use that conversation as kind of the launching of maybe a little podcast. And then we did another phone conversation and another phone conversation. And really, at a certain point, we weren't recording it. We were just talking for an hour, 2 hours at a time. We were talking about, this man was a black man, an older black man, and I'm a younger white man. And I was talking to him about what his life was like growing up because I was seeing all this stuff that was going on in our country and across the world at the time. With George Floyd and Black Lives Matter. And, I was asking him what it's like to see it from his perspective. He was in probably his 60s. And he told me from his perspective, which really helped me because from my perspective, I was just seeing chaos. And I knew that what was going on in the world needed to be fixed, but at times I was like, is this the right response to it, all this chaos? And it was good to hear his perspective and to hear somebody that said on some level, maybe it's the only appropriate response. I was like, wow. And I trust him. He was a level-headed guy and a very, very thoughtful human being. So I appreciated what he was saying. And as things go, 1 week went by, we didn't have a phone call, which turned into 2, which turned into a month, which turned into months. He got caught up in stuff, I got caught up in stuff, and we stopped talking on the phone. And, after a little bit, I shot him a text, he shot me a text, and then more time went by. And then he called me, and I didn't answer. I missed the call. And I saw the voicemail. I was like, all right, I'll give him a call back. Haven't heard from him in a while. It'd be good to talk. Then I got another missed call. And I shot him a text and said, hey, man, I'm super busy, but I will call you back. And Guess what I didn't freaking do? I didn't call him back. Not because I didn't want to, just because other things were more important, apparently. And I figured we'll reconnect like we did. We went a couple years without, we went like a year and a half without really talking when I left that job, and we reconnected easily. It was like we picked up where we left off, and we'll do the same thing again. But I get a phone call from someone very, very close to me today to let me know that person passed away last night. And, you hear people say, when someone passes away, you hear someone say, oh my gosh, they called me and I didn't return their phone call. And on some level, they're going to carry that grief with them for a period of time, deal with it, not deal with it. And I never had that. With the people close to me in my life that have passed away, so far, knock on wood, until today, I never said, oh man, I should have called them back. I never called that, or I didn't say this, or I didn't do that. I didn't have any of those with people that were close to me that passed away. But today I do. Today I do have that because I didn't call that person back. And so it makes me wonder, and immediately I thought, better late than never. But what happens when late becomes never? So, and then I roll through, a little list of people that I haven't called, that I haven't reached out to, that they haven't reached out to me either. So you could do that. Well, they haven't called me. But that doesn't matter. Are there people that you care about that you haven't talked to in a little bit? Are there people that you love that you haven't talked to or you haven't connected with for whatever reason? Today's the day, Today's the day. And the next time you tell yourself better late than never, consider what if late becomes never? And what are the ramifications of that spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally? What are the ramifications? And I know I tend to repeat myself a lot, but it's how I talk. Ask my wife. It's extremely annoying, but that's how I talk. See, I just did it. So reach out to somebody today. Whether it's a text or a call. Calls are better. Let's face it. They take a little bit more effort and a little bit more engagement, which is why I'd personally prefer to text. Because it's in and it's out and I can respond when I want. It's a selfish thing. Texting is selfish. And I'm selfish by nature. That's probably why I love it. But take a phone call, take the time to make a phone call to somebody that you've been putting it off. And reconnect where you can, because sometimes late is never.